Hello everyone and welcome back to Panzer Strategy, where we're back in Dunkirk, or at least in the preparation screen for Dunkirk, right after Operation Vallerot. Now you only go to Dunkirk after getting a silver or gold victory for Vallerot. If you get a bronze victory, you go to Operation Marita in Greece, but that's not where we're going. We're going for Dunkirk after that Battle for Britain, and then the Operation Sea Lion. Let's get upgrading first, and let's just start with the infantry here. First of all, I want to get all of these guys to pioneers. Why is that? Well, the pioneers ignore entrenchments, and the enemy will have quite a bit of entrenchments in the next mission. I'm also going to get them to 1 level. There we go. And that means that I'm gonna level them up, and they are going to get terrain expert, so they will get both attack and defense in close combat. That's really good, I think. Besides that, let's take a look at their equipment. I want to give them flamethrowers. Why is that? It gives the +4 from attack on the enemy located in a building. That's really good for the upcoming mission, and it destroys fortifications as well, so they are pretty good against fortifications at that point. But I'm mostly doing this for the enemies in the buildings, and then besides that, I do want to give them some of this equipment, and this gives +2 soft attack, or they already have one. Let's give these guys a Vickers as well, machine gun. And then the flamethrowers. As for these, they will also receive the 81mm Brandt and the flamethrowers out there too. I think for now we're actually fine with having 3 infantry at the moment. I will buy more in the future, but I think we're good now because we mostly have to upgrade our air units, and the one thing that I'm a bit surprised about is the Junkers 88. Did I really only have one? I'm a bit stranged out by that. 3 and 3, really? I thought I had 2 of these bombers. Maybe not, because they're so expensive. Well, whatever it is, I actually want to buy... I want to have 3 of these in total. 3. So I will... And I want to have them at least at 1 star for the next operation as well. So I'll be leveling them up with all weather. That leaves me with 1155, but this is, I think, really an expense that I need to make for the upcoming mission, because I think that will really support my troops, at least for this mission, if not the next one. So that's a purchase that I'm going to make. Does cost quite a bit of points, but I think that's definitely worth it. Then I definitely want to upgrade this recon and turn it into the newer model. Why do I want to do that? It's because of the movement points. The newer recon has tracked movement, and this one has trucked movement, which is a lot worse. So upgrading this guy into the 231 model will make that a lot better. Costs 100 points, but I think that's definitely worth it. Let's upgrade these to a Panzer IV-D, which gives more soft attack and defense. Great, then we can buy the Char for free. And we don't really need to buy more tanks for the upcoming operation. I think we're okay there. So really not something that I need to do. What I do want to do is purchase another artillery. And I'm going to buy a SIG-1B. And not going for any extra levels here. But the good thing about these guys is that they have regular movement instead of the towed trucked movement, like those other troops. So that's nice. They're also reasonably powerful, but the biggest thing is this movement points here. They can just move and then attack instead of these. They do have a lower movement, which is only 4. So you have to be a bit careful about that, but they can move and still support. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna buy for my 5th artillery for now. And I have 695 left. What I'm going to do with that, I could go for another bomber for the upcoming mission. That would be relatively useful, I think. I could save the points. Yeah, let's save those points. I think that's a lot better. Let's go for the HQ experience, because I did study all of this. I'm gonna go for airstrike here, and that costs 14 points right now. I think airstrike is a very good ability to have, because it suppresses a lot of the enemy units and lowers their ammo and such. We can put that to good use, and I cannot purchase a second ability of that. I want to go for Blitzkrieg while in Russia, because I think that helps a lot more out there. Same for Tank Onslaught. I just don't need it for the upcoming missions. So I'm not really going to do anything with that for the moment, but I definitely want to get Airstrike all the way up to level 3 to make sure that it has very low amount of command points that needs to be spent. Now with the rest of the HQ experience, what I want to do is I want to make sure that these bombers also level up. So I want to upgrade them, and for these guys it's fairly cheap, but I definitely want to get them into all-weather units, and these guys already are. For the remainder of the equipment, so torpedoes is not really necessary for the Junkers 88s, and the Junkers 87Bs are going to be using bombs. Don't really need the detection on those. At least not yet. I already spent that. Let's just take a look at the recon here. Don't really want any of those. Intelligence was already good. This would give +4 to heart attack. Not bad, I think. Ground defense. No, that's not really necessary right now. This is heart attack, self attack. Getting more movement points from my artillery is also really, really good. I think actually I'm gonna go for that. And that costs money, yeah. But it is, I think, really useful. Did that just only cost 60 supposedly? Yeah, this is 60, and then getting these is 120, so it only takes 60 points. There it goes. That's really good. Do I need any of these upgraded again? Well, I could go for recon level up. How much does it cost? 18 and 12. Because it gives them forward observer or Alright, let's upgrade the command unit, because that gives it scouting, and scouting is a very good ability to have. And I'll save the rest of the 70 points to level up my abilities. So let's see what these guys have to say about the upcoming mission against Dunkirk, or whatever else they have on their mind.
After the victorious French campaign, Germany became the rightful owner of the greatest part of the Atlantic coast in Europe, from Norway to France. This provides our submarine fleet with a large number of opportunities for action in the Atlantic.
Yeah, it does.
Hitler's plan to invade France had a share of adventurism, but it was made possible predominantly due to the high combat capacities of the Panzerwaffe. Their technical competence and combat capabilities have significantly improved since our first battles in Spain.
Well, ain't that nice?
The tank forces will play a secondary role in the assault of Dunkirk. I believe, in order to eliminate the English from the city, we will mostly need our infantry, artillery, and aviation.
Yeah, that's still barely hearable. But let's go for the briefing here, see what the Führer has to say about our upcoming mission against Dunkirk.
Why did the Führer stop the offensive on Dunkirk? We would have crushed the entire British army of the continent, but instead we gave it time to evacuate and straighten its defense.
You can ask him about it yourself.
My Führer.
Not now. It is necessary to begin an offensive against Dunkirk immediately. Destroy the troops of the Anglo-Saxons and prevent their evacuation to the island. I was hoping to make peace with England, but Churchill, this cunning snake, was just wasting our time and prepared for the evacuation of his troops from the continent. The negotiations are over. Use the Luftwaffe and the Kriegsmarine to sink any ship coming out of Dunkirk. Use the full power of our land forces to crush the enemy. Proceed immediately.
That dirty snake, how dare he not sue for peace? We must teach him a lesson, and the British Expeditionary Force as well.
General Staff to the commander of the operation. Our troops pressed the British Expeditionary Forces against the sea in the Dunkirk theater. Alongside the Brits are the French units who also fell into the trap. They keep their defense mainly on the western flank. According to our intelligence, the evacuation of the British to the island will begin in the very near future. We cannot allow this. Proceed immediately to storm Dunkirk. You need to capture the following strategic points: the port of Dunkirk, the railroad station, the supply depot for the British Expeditionary Forces, Dunkirk-Le Frincoke eastern suburb, and the settlement of Gravelines on the western side of the city. Additionally, you now have submarines at your disposal provided by Kriegsmarine. Use them to attack any transport vessel. The British will try to cover their evacuation with all available means: anti-aircraft artillery, warships, and fighter aircraft. Therefore, despite our advantage, this operation is not going to be easy. We have to destroy the British Expeditionary Forces in Dunkirk at all costs. You should not miss such a lucrative strategic opportunity. Generalstabschef der Heeres, Generalleutnant Franz Halder.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy mission. Let's actually take a look at the statue. I haven't seen it before, so I'm actually quite curious whether that's just part of this map in general. Well, never mind. Let's get started with my strategy for this mission. Of course, I already let's scheme through some of it by buying 3 of those bombers. Yeah, so for this mission, we have to take out the Allied victory hexes, or at least those 4 over here, and then we also have to prevent the evacuation of British forces. They're gonna do that over here, and near this port, which is the only port they have. So I guess if we succeed here, then they won't really be able to evacuate any forces. So taking that will stop forces there from taking it or from evacuating. So what is my goal? Pretty much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy all my forces down south. Well, nearly all of my forces, but I will not really go for a whole lot of forces here because the troops here can take this and then support the attack on Dunkirk, whereas these forces are just going to go all out trying to move into the city and then west. Unfortunately, I can bypass a part of the city to get to this medium depot quickly, because there is no supply there, so we can't really do a whole lot in that area without getting out of supply points, or without getting out of indeed supply. So that's unfortunate. Means that we have to go through the city, where the infantry and artillery will, most likely shine the most. Besides that, we have some armored counterattacks by the enemy. Mainly they will take place outside of the city. So these are, for example, all armored units. This is a recon, and these two are tanks. This is recon, and they will also come out with other tanks. So you want to be wary of that, especially in the first 1 to 2 turns. Be careful. Make sure that your artillery is able to protect you. Against Renault tanks, you don't have that much to worry about. Your artillery will take care of most of the damage there, and the suppression. And then for the other tanks, the heavy tanks, yeah, you gotta be a bit more careful, but we can bomb them earlier on. So let's get to deploying. Now, actually, I forgot about one thing. So the enemy also has quite a bit of navy here, and that's why I'm deploying a total of 5 Junkers 88 bombers in order to deal with the enemy naval threat. And of course, the bombers will also help in the destruction of the enemy forces trying to flee. I will actually try to let as many enemy forces escape, because the enemy forces are just that much easier to destroy inside the harbor, or inside the ships, than if they were in these houses, defending house-to-house combat. So it's much easier defending or destroying them if they're out at sea. So that's really what I want to do. Let's get these guys out. At least one fighter to protect them as well. I'll put one anti-aircraft gun up north. I know we already have the 88s, but they're more likely to have more air activity near Calais and near Dover than they have down here. Although they could go down there, so I will also deploy one of my anti-aircraft guns to protect my forces from any enemy fighters or bombers that might go down there. Now, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to deploy my heavy artillery over here because I want to attack those heavy tanks already. Let's deploy all 3 15mm guns there, and I'll have these down here. And the artillery doesn't need to go all the way up front. I'll place the heavy tanks here, a recon in this force at least, so it can move up, spot those units. Do want some pioneers in the woods. I will deploy the Panzer down here on that flank. I don't think it will help me that much over here. I will get the command unit in here to help the artillery, give it a little extra oomph with the extra attack they will receive. Let's get the anti-aircraft gun here, and that's pretty much a full stack already. Then we'll still get another bunch of tanks over here. Let's get you here, then the recon, and I suppose let's pick you up, put you in here, and then the pioneers too. So that's it for my deployment. Let's just get started and see how we'll perform in the first couple of turns. This mission has only 8 turns or more if you are slower, but I always aim to go for gold victory here, like I said. Alright, let's just take a look. Okay, I want to stay away from that ship in general, and I don't think they're going to go up north. If they're going to go anywhere, it's either down here or into these cracks. Like they will try to get as close as possible to my troops and not further away. Now I don't really want to attack these guys with torpedoes because that's not very useful, I think. Let's just go here. Because I'm just wasting the 8 torpedoes that I have on those guys, whereas I need them to attack the sea transports, I think. Let's just start out here. So first of all, we don't know what's there. Let's get the recon. I guess an artillery. I think for a first turn it's okay to bomb. There's probably no anti-aircraft around. Let's just stick a peek. 4 movement left. This is a tank, and I don't know what those two are. Okay, so I'm I'm quite sure this is gonna be fine, because even if this is an AA gun, I'm 5 hexes away, so they wouldn't be able to target these. Demoralized and fleeing. Huh. I have to stay within range of my own artillery even with this recon. And yeah, I can use the Panzer 4D pretty securely, I think, to take that and then overrun it and move back. I think that's better. So that gives me a nice prestige boost already. No, Just put it to 1-0. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go back. You're not gonna move. Let's get these back here and you in here. And some anti-aircraft guns. First of all, though, I want to get the fighter up here to protect these two. And these are pretty good already. I'll just get indeed these guys moving over to this side because I do want them to support. And that's pretty much it for the northern group. Let's get you guys out here. Revealing quite a few units. Like I thought, just 2, 3, 1, 1, and 0, 1. Not the greatest. But let's see what we can do. That's a nice attack. I'm gonna use the frontline artillery ability on these guys because they're the most powerful artillery that we have. 2-star artillery. Let's attack here too, and yeah, just wreak some havoc. Now I already know that the enemy doesn't have any anti-aircraft over in this region that can help these tanks, so I can bomb them at leisure. Which is great. I didn't accomplish all the goals that I wanted, but oh well. They're down at least quite a bit, so it's not too shabby. Can they move into the woods just without going into trucks? It's sometimes very hard to see. It looks like they can. So I would be inclined to do that. I really don't like the damage against this thing. But I need to weaken both. So I'll just do it. That's unfortunate, but I think it's really necessary here. I'm not gonna attack them in general besides that. Right, let's just go and attack these as well. Yeah, I'll just have to use the artillery first. With incendiaries, that's looking to be pretty good. Yeah, you can move 2 hexes. I'm not too worried here. They'll probably be destroyed. No. Wow, okay. Let's go in there then. Yeah. Would have thought so. 1, 2, 3. So I'm supporting the recon at least. So I don't have to worry about it that much. Let's get you in here. These guys can upgrade as well. Let's level them up. They already have multiple support. And I'm just gonna go for a skill attack. And I could move them 1x further. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, let's move you here. You in here. Make sure that these have anti-tank support. There we go. I still need to protect my units here though. Let's get you in here. And moving in here is fine, but that's a bit too far for my liking, although they won't attack there. I think we're good actually getting in there. They have artillery support, even though they're not 1 hex away from it. And just putting these in here makes it that they can't really go around everything. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. They're not gonna be able to go all the way through here. There we go. And have the anti-aircraft gun out here. And they have a pretty wide range. All the artillery are covered. And these tanks here too, and then all the way up to this line. So all except this artillery is covered. I'm just hoping they'll remain safe. Besides that, these have a range of 4. So I think I'm in a pretty decent spot already just moving in here. Any enemy fighters that are trying to go after my 88s. Not 88s. The, yeah, I guess Junkers 88s in this case. Not 88 millimeters. Yeah, they'll be in for some tough luck. So we've already spotted that enemy Hurricane. Let's see what we have left though. No, we're good. I don't really want to move forward here with the artillery so far. Alright. End the turn. Okay. Matilda moving forward. And 1 damage for 1. Heh. Nice. And that one got hit too. Well, that's very, very good for me. Moving back, huh? They're already putting some troops onto the ships. Okay, that's an artillery. Dealing 1 to my infantry. Okay. They're really going after my tanks here. That's... Yep, it got killed straight out. Okay. Well, that's certainly interesting. Let's attack here first. And let's use you. Finish off the one in the rear. There we go. And a 4 strength hurricane. I think I can deal with that. What? Let's blast these first. Just the same way I did the previous turn. And move you back, and because it's demoralized and fleeing, one thing I can do once more, go in here, make it surrender, get some nice prestige bonus once again, and now he has the overrun, so he can easily move back. I'm gonna start shelling the unit inside the city. I still can't really take this with impunity. Not a problem, I'll deal with it later. I want to bomb the Matilda though. The Matilda has the heavy armor ability which ignores damage from, and I believe this is just FT guns. I think that's just, you know, tank guns and things like that, like any ground guns. Artillery and air defense with attack strength less than or equal to 10. And it ignores it. So from 11 it takes 11 strength of damage, but below that it takes always 0. But it doesn't apply to bombers, so those guys are gonna be toast. Okay, now that that's done, let's go for a bit of recon out here. There were a couple of nasties. In general, I have very poor spotting still. Now let's try to get a bit closer. It's an AT gun. We know that this is an artillery, but they have some other stuff here too. And they have an anti-aircraft gun. I'm inclined to send out the aviation recon, even though I know it's gonna get destroyed most likely. But just in the off chance that it will be able to spot things here, I'm just gonna take a look. You never know. Yeah, that's the anti-aircraft gun, and destroy it entirely. Okay, well we know that that's there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't be able to target it. No, yeah, I need to do another aviation run out here for this turn. Not too great, but it did reveal the location of that artillery and allows me to show some good combat odds, or at least if good combat odds are possible. So if I were to move, I would deal 8, they would deal 1. That's looking pretty good. Yeah. So I'm gonna need to move either the infantry, and I think they can go in here just fine. Moving you out there, using the incendiaries. Attack. Not 100% the way I would want it to, but it certainly did the job. And now a next artillery barrage will surely finish it off. Who knows? Moving in here, or it can move 2 axes now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move at least ahead by 1 hex into the new forest. Can they move in here? It's just so problematic to see. They could. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but then they don't get closer. I can move these guys out here, which is a lot safer, I think. I'm inclined not to move too far ahead already. I do think getting you in here is fine. They can't be surprised by the AT gun, and that AT gun is gonna go anyway. Let's move you in here. $11 damage. Most impressive. They can't attack another time, but can move you. Nine prestige, yeah, not the best, but I did take these guys out in one go and got an overrun, which would allow me to capture the medium depot. That will give me a bit more protection, so I don't think it's that bad, but I have to take care of that infantry as well, which I will. Could also move you guys back. It certainly is an interesting turn. I can't actually bomb them, so what I will do is get my bomber here. attack whatever's there. And these guys do have the scouting movement now. That's really good because I can just move one hex for now. Move these guys ahead, use the incendiaries. And I'll attack a second time. Mostly because I think these guys are very heavily entrenched. And I need at least 3 artillery blasts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cut them out. Now I feel pretty safe getting in here. And that's going to give me some marginal supply over in this lower section as well. So I'm fairly happy with the capture. And that means that these are reasonably safe now as well. They are likely to have another counterattack here, I think. So first of all, let's just move you in here. They might even put another unit into Gravelines. That would also be fine. I have the infantry, which is now occupying that space. Moving you into the building is a pretty good movement there. Let's pull you back. And yeah, I'm inclined to go after the artillery on the next turn, or this artillery. So next turn I can move 2 hexes and then shell that artillery if possible. That'd be real good. Otherwise, I will just be waiting on that for a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I don't think they're gonna go for that. Let's just get this out there. I will just start this invasion slow. We really don't need to go all out from the first moments. Okay, we got this. Sea transport. So once I get into range of 4, most likely the enemy will start trying to get in here or here and harass me. They're not that far just yet, although they might go for this recon, for example. They would be able to go all the way down. So yeah, we'll have to see. If they go down, my submarines might be in trouble. So I'm gonna move to the side so as to make sure that they don't really see them. And the enemy goes for Dover anyway, so I'm better off just keeping those guys there. Let's see if I cannot at least, yeah, move here. Finish that off. I'm a bit afraid that if these guys go out... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Okay, what I'll do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I move my bombers out here, they might not be targeted by any anti-aircraft.
fighter planes are protecting the target next to them. Try to keep your fighter planes next to the bomb facilities.
Not too great of a result there. I did take only 1 damage. What just happened? What is attacking the char? I have... Oh, so they're attacking the infantry inside the city. That didn't deal too much damage, but it did deal damage to the anti-aircraft guns, huh? Okay, they're moving forward, attacking something. They didn't seem to deal a whole lot of damage, so that's very good. Alright, things didn't go that badly. 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I can't actually target that. That's a shame, but yeah, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to end the video here, since I've already passed the time limit. I want to thank you all for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this first part. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'm pretty sure I can wrap this mission up in the next episode. So take care, and see you all there.